Hey, welcome to the video. My name's Noah, and in this episode, I have got my co-founder, Nick, from the shadows of running the business with me into the light on this podcast. And we're going to be chatting all things life and business. For those that don't already know, Nick and I are the co-founders of Future Fulfilment. We have a bunch of e-commerce warehouses around the world where we store and pack and send products for hundreds of different brands. And yeah, Nick, welcome. I've prepared a few questions for Nick, so we're going to talk about our journey together.
Awesome.
First question, Nick, is introduce yourselves. How would you each describe the other person in 3 words?
Well, Noah is intelligent. He's a surfie, and he sleeps in.
A surfie. Nice. I would say hardworking, loyal, and a yes man.
Yes, definitely a yes man.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
All right, take us back. How did you two meet?
So I had a little bit of insecurities, and I saw a business on Instagram that was using the same influencers I was using for my e-commerce brand. And I thought it was one of my friends trying to like rip off my brand. So
we didn't steal those influencers.
Yeah, I know.
They were all the Melbourne baddies.
Yeah, they were all the Melbourne baddies at the time. And I just reached out to the Instagram and I just said, "Who is this?" And I got a response from Bethany. Is that right? No, your partner.
We were sitting on the tram.
Yeah,
at the time, going to the supermarket.
I'm sure they were really weirded out by that question. But from there, I got a reply, and then Noah kind of jumped on the Instagram and wanted to catch up.
Mm-hmm. We caught up for a coffee.
Yeah, so I was like coming through from a 3-day bender, and
it was a Monday morning. I'd just woken up feeling fresh, and Nick was still going from the Friday.
And yeah, so we kind of caught up. I was like, real rusty, and we went around the back of this office that I had. It was a really cheap office at the time, and it was like a big garden out the back that I just like chopped down, and we sat down in the back on this. Do you remember this? On that little table, little rickety piece of shit table in the back there, and we just had a chat, and it was like when you speak to Noah, you kind of getting absorbed by his the way he can articulate himself, and for me, I hadn't really met someone like that before, and it captivated me, and I just wanted, to see him more and get to know him better. And and then I just asked about his story, which he told me, which you could probably bring up. So.
Yeah, no, that was it. That's how we met. The rest was history after that.
Yeah.
What's a memory from the early days of our friendship that really defines our dynamic? I think I'll start with this one because I remember, so Nick had this office, no light. It was like this tiny little dingy box at the back of the property. And the top floor office was available, overlooking Toorak Road, epic. And I remember walking into that, and it was a shell. Like the walls needed so much work. There was no flooring, there was no roof. It was literally just a shell of a space. And then I just remember looking at you and you being like, "Should we get it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess so." And you're like, "Yep, done." And then you just picked up the phone and just went boom, 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 just called the agents, called the trades, and it was done. And I was like, "Oh, okay, we're on here. This is good."
Oh yeah, I remember installing that door handle that came off for the whole 1 year we were there. Every time someone would grab it, a client or anyone, it would just pull off the wall, and that was the work of mine.
All the masking tape on the roof, the lights would just fall randomly.
Off. Yeah, it wasn't the best build, I might say.
But I feel like that kind of dynamic, we were just things started really ramping up as soon as I met you, which was good in terms of speed. And you were just like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I was like, "Okay, very good, no hesitation."
Me and Nora are such opposites, and I'm quite a doer, and I just didn't have the what's the word, the ability to do things. I was a bit scared of things. I'm scared to be on this podcast today, so it's I get a bit scared with things. And the dynamic when Noah came into my life, and he jumped in that office with me. He was he says I'm the yes man, but at the end of the day, there's no job that me and Noah can't do. If it's whether it's operations on my back end, or Noah saying yes to any job. People approach us with crazy projects, and if I was on my own, I probably would say no, but Noah's just like, yep, easy. Like we can do this 3 days, no worries, whatever, this and that. So it's like, going into that office with Noah and just hearing him on the phone, he'd never done what he did at the time according to, with the content side of things. And, he just pulled off magic with stuff that he'd never really done. And I'd never really seen that before. I think it's just like his confidence to my operational abilities, just like, we got everything done, and our journey like proves it. It's been 4 short years, and like
we get it done.
Yeah, we just get it done, and like it was that would probably be the first time I was in the office with him. I knew that this dynamic was going to work really well.
Nice. So before Future, what were you each doing career-wise?
Do you want to answer that first, or?
Sure. Yeah. So before Future, I was an e-commerce brand owner. I had a brand called Tommy Skin, and then having a brand, I noticed we were spending so much money on marketing agencies to help us sell the product and 3PLs to help us fulfill the product. And it was really just like the process of taking everything in-house. So it started with the agency that was Creative Converters, really born out of the need for it for my own brand. And then same with Fulfilment. We were just spending so much money with other people that were doing a pretty sloppy job of it, to be honest. So then we're like, well, let's just take it into our own hands. So yeah, I was in e-commerce and marketing before Future.
Yeah, so I was doing a few things. I came from a building background. I had hospitality venues, and I was doing a bit of e-com at the time. They were all, kind of small projects. At the time, I thought I was really stressed out, and they were massive. But you look back to where we are now, and you're just like, wow, that was actually nothing. You could have probably done that in like half an hour. The amount of work it was then. So I feel like once I morphed all the abilities of those, so like your e-com background, your building, and your restauranting and cafe type stuff. If you blend it all together, you've got 3PL.
You've got 3PL.
So it's like customer support went back to my cafes and my restaurants. E-com went back to obviously dealing with e-com owners, and construction. I can build warehouses in 2 weeks, and I think I put it down to like learning, building, and strategizing with a team and stuff. So yeah, I think that really built the base of where we are today.
Yep. So what inspired us to go into business together? Was there an aha moment?
I think there was an aha moment the moment I saw Noah. Like I think if anyone meets Noah, they're going to say aha, like straight away. It's just the way that he's able to do kind of anything with ease and make it look easy. And you get a warm and confident feeling when you do business with Noah, because he's transparent and he's just a good person, genuine person. He's not in it for the money, and he's humble. So like aha moment was the moment I met him, and that's why I spent every single day with him since.
And then also there was a lot of phone calls that I was having with the agency, speaking to e-commerce brands every day.
Yeah, definitely that as well. Like the real aha moment when I was like, holy shit, there's a business here, is, Noah was, doing content quite well and, advertising quite well. But everyone on those phone calls just kept saying fulfillment was the issue. And we were both having this issue at the same time as well. So, listening to those phone calls, that was the aha moment, as you'd like to say, for me. But there was also another moment where it's like everyone we kind of approached at the start said we were going to fail, and said it was like really not, a good idea, big leases, small margins, whatever it may be. And everyone kind of rejected us at the start, which was, my aha moment, because I was like, oh shit, no one wants to be in this space. So like, there's the two moments that come back to me.
Yeah, that was kind of the next question. Did anyone try to talk us out of it? Which is true. There was a lot of people.
Yeah,
I mean, firstly, it's probably not the easiest business to get into. There's a bit of a barrier to entry in terms of like getting a location, forklift, racking, all of that.
Yeah.
And it's not exactly the most everyone wants to have the next brand or the next cool thing. It's not exactly the most attractive business. We've made it look attractive now.
Yeah. Look, it's like a business where you're selling the pick to the miners. We don't get the glory of the really nice brands, even though, Molly's done a good job to get us there now. But it's more of an ugly business that we turned kind of cool. We've got 20,000 followers for a warehousing business.
What was the hardest part, would you say, of starting Future?
There's been, a few hard things. The first one would be finding like the right team. That was really hard. You think you found a really good team, and then you realize, there may be a cancer in the team, and then, it kind of turns quite negative quite fast. So there's that, and then there's also, we have gone through a lot of things. We started with like $5,000, so we didn't have capital. Most of the guys that we're up against get hundreds of millions of dollars in venture capital. We started with 5,000, and we're now.
Would you say money's an advantage
Well, I don't think so. Well,
with starting businesses?
It's a double-edged sword because you're not as hungry. I didn't take a wage for 3 years, so and I was there every day till midnight, if not longer. During COVID, when everyone got COVID, I was there 24/7. And I would the hunger still lives in me. And, I feel like the driving force behind us is the fact that, we're all not hungry for the money. It's more to build this business together as a team.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it as well. Hardest part. I mean, it's like there's so many things that come to mind. Like it's all hard, but that's kind of what makes it like worth doing and enjoyable. But I'd say the team component as well. Finding the right people isn't easy. But when you do, oh my gosh. It's the best thing ever. Can make a world of difference. Is there a moment where we thought we're in way over our heads here in the early days? Or like maybe something that was like, holy shit, this is happening?
Oh, okay. So obviously we got the lease and, we talked a big game and, we didn't have any we didn't have any tables. We had like this one desk there with
There was one white IKEA table.
Yeah.
Like the most ghetto thing ever and just pallets on the floor.
Yeah, well, no, I'm going back before this. So it's like, there was just a one desk and an iMac. And we, we're talking to all our friends and all their friends were about to send their stock and we got it picked up. There was 100 pallets coming to our warehouse. And all of a sudden a truck arrives with 100 pallets on it, and I didn't even know that you needed a forklift. So, that was, and it's like, that's such a small thing, but that was like the moment I was like, holy crap, I'm in over my head here. I didn't even know that we needed a forklift. So running up and down the street trying to find a neighbor that could take off, these pallets. And then again, like another moment was like straight after we took the pallets off, realizing that you had to count like 12,000 tea strainers with no barcodes on it from Skinny Me Tea and Greta. Thank you, Greta, if you're watching this.
Thank you, Greta. Shout out, Greta.
Shout out, Greta.
For being one of our first actual clients.
So they're the two like that. The startup 2 moments is that, and there's obviously others throughout the business journey, but those are the 2 moments where I got a bit scared, to say the least. Yeah.
Yeah. And how did we divide responsibilities? Was it clear from the start? Did we figure it out as we went?
I believe it was clear from the start. Noah's, CMO, so head of marketing, content. He's done a good job. That's why we are the way we are right now, where we are. And I was just operations. And, you do hit a ceiling of like your knowledge. So like I feel like, I was able to get Future to the 3-year mark without hiring people that are smarter than you, but there does come a day where you need to, pass the hat. So
I think that's good advice as well for people that are getting into new partnerships, and that is like deciding responsibilities from the get-go and just like putting it all on a whiteboard and like getting everything out on the table. Because sometimes I see people where like relationships start to break down because that isn't so clear.
Yeah.
And it's like where is the line? And I also believe that people should be like, if they're gonna control like a part of the business, that they should really control that rather than trying to like both own certain areas of the business.
Yeah.
Like I've been in situations where there's like 6 people in a project and it's just like way too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah. And obviously like another thing is like just don't micromanage your partner. I feel like, Noah operates, when he wants to operate and operates successfully when he wants to do it. He will work on a Sunday night where I'll be, asleep at that time or whatever it may be. But like, I feel like our relationship works because you don't tell me what to do at all.
I trust your decisions. Yeah. It's like,
well, that actually comes down to that. It's like trust. You got to have trust for them and definitely, let them manage the way that they manage.
What makes Future Fulfilment different from other fulfillment centers? Firstly, like when we started, we really wanted to be a bespoke solution for e-commerce brands. So like the biggest problem that I was experiencing was as a brand going into another 3PL, we had to fit into their box. And that was the issue. So packing orders from home myself, like we just went above and beyond with like the gift wrapping and like making amazing unboxing experiences, the cards. We used to throw gifts into orders, all these little things that just like made it that extra special experience where people would actually whip their phones out and like film like, oh, I just received my parcel. And then we were just like forced to be put in the same box as everyone else, essentially, like quite literally the same box. So it was about being super customizable and like really for the modern e-commerce customer. A lot of these 3PLs had been around since pre-Shopify, pre this big e-com thing. Like the space has changed so much in the last 5 years. We felt 3PLs hadn't, and we also feel like we're driving that change now.
We are e-commerce founders for, e-commerce fulfillment. So we do understand the problems that do arise from an e-commerce customer. We were them. We are them to this day. I throw brands into Future now, so does Noah, to make sure that it's a seamless experience. We go in there as clients and see how we're getting treated, which is like something that's really cool. The customer service thing for me is the big thing about Future. Like, everything's instant on, for the e-commerce owners. So why shouldn't their fulfillment be instant? If they're getting a message from their customer, they need to get an answer from us like as fast as possible, because or else they're going to get the bad review, they're going to get yelled at, or whatever it may be. I just want things instant in this company, and I think we do it best. Like, even if we've, effed something up really badly, the first thing you do is just get on that phone straight away, and it's about how fast you fix it. We're all human. We all make mistakes, especially when in our when we're doing such custom things. We do make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, but it's just how fast you can fix that mistake. I think we're the best at.
100%. So what's the most favorite thing about what you do?
Dealing with the brands and the people, like getting the bird's eye view / back end view of every brand. We've worked with 300 plus brands, some of the biggest brands in the world, really, at this stage. Just seeing how they operate. I've learned so many management techniques from different companies, and things not to do, and then you also see things like how does that work, but it works. So it's really good to get the bird's eye view of everything, and like also just dealing with new clients and your team is just like, it's what drives me, what makes me get up in the morning.
Yeah, I would say it's just turning visions into life constantly. Like every single year, every 6 months, there's always like new ideas that we're having. Everything becomes reality. We just like constantly talk things into reality. I remember walking through our first warehouse before there was any racking in there because we couldn't afford it, and like seeing it and like picturing it, like these soaring, it was like 2 or 3 pallets high, but at the time I was like these soaring racks all the way to the ceiling.
Yeah.
And then they were there.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, I'm thinking about what the European warehouse looks like, and it's like, we don't have it yet, but I know we're just going to talk this into existence.
Yeah, exactly.
So I love that. Yeah. And when people join Future, like the actual team, what do we want people to feel?
Well, we are like a big family. So, everyone says that, but at the end of the day, we all do everything together. We don't stop talking until like sometimes 3 a.m. at night. And it's like the team is genuinely interested in what's going on, and they all, they almost, see their business as theirs, which is like how we want it. We're all on the same level. Our, our whole head office has been with us from day dot. And that we're just one big happy family. Like, we're getting a big house in South Yarra to house them all because they all want to be together 24/7. So I think, we've done a really good job of, creating a family culture.
100%. It's super tight-knit team, and so many of our staff that now lead departments started on the warehouse floor. And like, that is like just the best way. Like, they've gone through and they've seen absolutely everything. Everything, yeah. Okay. What's the funniest or weirdest thing that's ever happened in the business?
There's so many. I'll give you something that's not funny to me, but maybe funny to you. But like, we had 1 week where, for some reason, 3 different people drove through the roller door. So like every single day for that week, like I was just getting a phone call and someone would just drive straight through the roller door. So for me, I was just like, like my eyes just like, what is going on? But like, you see the most crazy things all the time in logistics, like this business, everything that you think that won't happen or, can't happen, happens. I've got plenty of other stories as well, but they're probably not, G-rated for the podcast. But yeah, that's one that kind of shocked me, like some people driving through a door 3 times in 1 week. So.
Oh my gosh. This is a good one. If we had to swap roles for a week, who would struggle more?
Me.
Really?
100%.
I was going to say, because if we were to swap roles, that would also mean swapping phones. And your phone going off, I would just be like, oh my gosh.
I would, yeah, I think like, you've managed to, like, yeah, I think with the team, you'd be able to manage it well, probably even better. So,
no, I don't know,
in some parts.
Why would you struggle?
With marketing?
Yeah.
We're going to do the Anakin Skywalker edits.
Nick's been just sending content inspiration to our chat with Star Wars reels with like really dramatic music.
Yeah.
We're going to find the editor.
Yeah, it'd definitely be, you'd fit the role well.
Okay, here's another one. Who's the risk taker or who's the let's think this through person?
You want to answer this?
Well, I feel like there's 2 answers to this.
Yeah, there
One, we're both risk takers in a big way. Like we're both just as crazy as each other when it comes to like if there's an idea or something on the table. Yep, let's do it straight away. But we do flip.
We flip all the time. So you'll be the risk taker. And I'll be like, oh, no, don't do that. And then half an hour later, it'll turn to me. And it'll be the same topic as well. And we'll just constantly flip. So we're always flipping, but which I think is good because it's like we're both seeing both sides of,
One word to describe each other as business partners.
Brother.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, like we're practically family. Well, we are family.
That's it. Yeah, I don't know if you could say it
you can't
any
even,
other way.
Yeah, literally. It's like it's more of a family relationship than it is, any sort of business term. You can't put it into a business term because we sleep together in the same beds when we're away. We're constantly together. We're eating together. We're anything, gymming together, whatever it is, we're always together.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, wouldn't want to have it any other way.
Exactly.
What's one thing about running a business no one prepares you for? I think just like nothing great is built on your own. I think like a misconception is like for people, if they're going to be successful, they need to do it all on their own. And that's why they'll be successful. And you just realize like you'll just be dealing with so many different walks of life. I mean, like our day to day now, like we have calls with the team in Shanghai. We have calls with the team in New Zealand. Australia, we've got teams in Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland. Like it's just like people all across the world, different cultures, different walks of life. And in that, there's like a ton of challenges, like whether it's just like emotions where like, when it's high stakes situations and people get emotional, but just realizing that, so much of your success is going to come down to how you can work with other people.
Definitely.
And I don't think you can be prepared for some of the situations that you're thrown in.
Literally,
people like to get you or people like just all sorts of things.
Sometimes, I feel a bit worried to say, oh, it's been a good day because it's like, something's coming. That's what I would probably say. Like there's always something around the corner. So, take that win, but be prepared for the next challenge because it's definitely coming and there's no escaping it. Just be ready. That's what, this year, that's what I'm trying to do. Just get my mind and my body right because, last year I fell to pieces in Q4 in our busiest time. So I think preparing yourself for a war at any moment is probably the best advice.
Okay, so where do we see future in 5 years' time? Big.
Huge.
Real big. But I mean, 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. It's 2030.
Yeah. Like I could definitely see the takeover of our China operation being in full effect, and then definitely multi-countries, and the strategy behind that is we're already implementing now, so I can already see the next 5 years. We're looking to buy a WMS, big one. It's already got centers across the world, and this is our gateway to buy this company and just enter the whole world market in a quick rate. Could be shorter than 5 years, to be honest.
5 years, yeah. I mean, we're now only just starting our 5th year of operating in Australia, and we have all the states on lock now, but it's taken that. I think China's going to move a lot quicker because we're starting with experience this time. I mean, I see Europe being like a key market that we launch in. I think in 5 years' time, like we will be in the US as well.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 years is a long time.
Yeah, especially because we've done such big deals there and pulled them off and, you know, got a good name over there. I think it's inevitable. I'm not exactly a fan of the States, but I will be there for work.
And what's one goal that we're working towards right now?
Wow,
I mean, there's so many.
One.
I think the immediate goal for this year is, well, we just opened 3 new warehouses. They were all signed at the start of this year, or just in the last few weeks. So I see them all at capacity and pumping. We'll do over 3 million orders this year. That's in the bag.
Mine would be personally like surrounding ourselves with people like that are winners. I can really feel energy these days, and you know, I'm going back to places, you know, that I went 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and I'm feeling that the energy is like not there, and it's, you know, there's low energy people. I think surrounding myself with the right people, which we've started doing with the likes of One Life Club and all that, is kind of my goal, because you know. The energy is so high, and you can kind of conquer anything with the right people around you. So that would be it for me.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Like, we're making such an effort to just surround ourselves with people that are like just a few steps ahead. It's like a very scary place to be when like you're the smartest person in the room. And like, I'm not saying that out of like an ego place. It's more just like genuinely like, if you're the dumbest in the room, it's usually you're in the right room.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what I'm feeling. So like you mentioned One Life Club, that's like a community that we've joined, and they do meetups in different cities and conferences. That's been so good. St. Haven has been really good as just like a retreat every day to like, you know, focus on mental and physical well-being, but also to meet. I've met awesome people there as well.
Amazing people, yeah.
That are just speaking the same language. That's the main thing.
Just shout out to Margie, by the way.
Shout out Margie. But yeah, I think it's like it's a language thing. It's like when I'm with people that are talking about other people or gossip or like weekend stuff, I'm just like, it just loses me.
Yeah.
But then versus people just talking about like leveling up and like business and like finance, I'm like, awesome. How can people connect with Future Fulfilment and work with us? Well, you can head to our website, which is www.futurefulfillment.com. And yeah, we have the China set up now. So for people that are shipping like globally, they can ship from our China 3PL. And for people that are in Australia, we have a network that spans all of the states in Australia, the whole East Coast, meaning you can split your stock or, you know, choose a warehouse that's closer to you so you can go in and visit, anything like that. But we are taking on new brands at the moment. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit like and subscribe, and maybe even leave a comment down below if you want a question answered in our next video, because I'm sure we'll be doing this again. And for those e-commerce brands out there that are looking for a 3PL solution, you can head to our website, which is futurefulfillment.com, and you can book in a call with our team to see how we may be able to partner together. I'll see you in the next video.